Good morning from the Kentucky Horse Park. It is raining here this morning, but it's only going to rain for about an hour. Maybe not that long. It's just me and you, sis. So far. We're going to head up to the trolley tour here in just a little bit and ride the trolley. Yes, tell Lone Wolf 351 that they should come and join us too. It will actually end up being a good day once this rain subsides. So I thought we would see if we can get to the International Museum of the Horse before the trolley tour. The trolley tour is at 10 a.m. A lot of the horse park is undergoing some construction for the summer. And there is an event happening here at the horse park. I don't know yet what it is, like what breed association is here with a show, but I have seen several horse trailers pulling in to the covered arena over at the Alltech. Okay, so this is the International Museum of the Horse. It says enter here. We'll see if we can. Look at this giant globe. It's made out of horseshoes. This is the museum. We'll take a quick look around in here before we head over to the trolley. See if I can get my umbrella to go back down and collapse. Here we go. Oops. Good morning.
Stairs and such. We have a train.
All right.
There was this little train for like.
Hi, good morning, Alyssa. Thanks for popping in. We are at the International Museum of the Horse at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky. Looks like we're starting with the Arabian horse. Good morning, Gail. How are you?
I'll tell you what, the experiences that we have.
Yes.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Yep.
I have never rode an Arabian horse. I have a friend that has Arabians. We are going to see some some horses today, primarily draft horses. Oops, here we go. Some of the winners, most famous horses. Sorry about that. I had to get it back on track. This is the kids section. They have a let's see what else we got back here. This is actually one of the buildings I've never been in. Looks like this is focused primarily on Arabians. Lagging a bit in here? Okay. We'll head out. Have a good day.
Yes. Did you get all the pictures you needed in that short a period of time?
Just walked around, yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm videoing.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. That's the entrance.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it, but it is. It's under construction. All right, let's go up. Angie, is it better? There's a trolley in 15 minutes. We will do that. Will the trolley go if it's sprinkling raining?
We're actually going to cancel because it's been thundering too, so we're more worried about like lightning.
Okay.
So we are going to do like a little stall side chat up in the big barn. So
Okay.
If you are interested in that.
Yeah, we'll go to the big barn. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, no trolley tour. There is one scheduled in the afternoon too, so perhaps we can ride the trolley then. The trolley is actually pulled by 2 large draft horses, and we will head there so you can see them. But first we'll see if we can go in here. This is the mounted police barn. Lexington, Kentucky has a mounted police team, and although they are actually in a different building off-site, some of them are actually here. So we'll see if we're allowed to come in here. Hi, am I allowed to come in with the camera? Okay. So this is the mounted police barn. And they are getting ready for their day. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous horse. Taking his morning bath. There's stalls. This is Oliver. Oliver is gorgeous. Oliver is ridden by Captain Rakes. He joined the Kentucky Horse Park Mounted Police Unit when he was 5 years old. And since that time, he has patrolled park events, he's marched in city parades, and he's even been to Washington, D.C. He is 16.2 hands, which is how they measure his height, 1,400 pounds. And he is a Paintshire Cross. He's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. Henry is taking a rest. Henry, do you have a rough night? Yeah. Henry is a spotted draft, and he was adopted from the Last Chance Corral. He was born in 2015. He is 1,400 pounds. And he is snoozing. This is Mackenzie, who was born in 2005, and she's enjoying that fan blowing on her, and probably has a salt lick or something up there. Mackenzie is also about 1,400 pounds. She's 5.3 hands, and she is a Clydesdale Dales Pony cross mix. Okay. Bye, Mackenzie. Have a good day. Are you enjoying your breakfast, girl? Yeah. She's huge. All right. Here we have one a little bit smaller. It looks like this is Billy. Billy is a gypsy vanner, which are one of the most beautiful horses on the planet. Billy was born in 2001, so that makes you about 23. 14.3 hands. So he is just tall enough to be classified as a horse instead of a pony. And he weighs about 1,300 pounds. Gypsy vanners are known for their wonderful thick manes and beautiful coloring. Look at those pretty, gorgeous eyes. He's listening. He's got his ears back. He's listening. Or he's telling us, yeah, I'm not in the mood. All right. Hi. Bye, Billy. Okay, this is Junior. Junior is a 10-year-old American cream draft horse. He weighs 1,700 pounds, so he's a big boy. And it says that he came to the Mounted Police Barn last year, and he became a real officer just like his other horse friends in the barn. He says he's the most handsome horse in the entire horse park. Okay, Junior, I believe you. I agree. I know, Gail, aren't these gorgeous? We will head up to the big barn so you can see some of the Percherons, because they are also just absolutely gorgeous. All right. Okay, the big barn is this way. But over here, this is what they call the covered barn, and you can see it's absolutely huge. And a lot of horse show associations have their events at that barn. Back in the days when I had horses, my family and I would show our horses there. It was always the premier event of the year. Okay, they have a kids barn. We will come back to that. In the kids barn, there are all kinds of activities for the children to do, and I believe they have ponies in here. Yeah, we'll come back to this. Not a lot of activity going on right here today. The rain, I'm afraid, has chased off people. Normally there's a bigger crowd here at the horse park. Over on this side, there is a farrier shop and a tack shop, a playground, and yesterday there was the cutest little miniature pony out here in this paddock. Looks like he's inside right now. All right, we'll go see some more horses here in the breed barn. These horses are going to do an exhibition. I think at 10:45, I'll check. All right, let's look at the different breeds here that are represented. Their show is at 11 o'clock. Hello, Ren. Ren is a mountain pleasure horse. Mountain pleasure horses are gaited horses, which means they are a very smooth ride. It's almost like being in a rocking chair. They travel at like a rack, which is just a very smooth gaited. So Ren is here. He's on loan. Hi, Ren. How are you? You doing okay today? Are you gonna show off today, later today? You sure are pretty. Did you have your breakfast? We'll see you later. Ren's like, stay and chat a while. Okay, can anybody guess what breed this horse is? This is Penny. She was born in 2018. Penny is an American Mustang. She's got a salt block over there that she is enjoying. This is Callie. Hi, Callie. Good morning. Callie, you've already had your bath this morning. Callie is a thoroughbred. She was also born in 2018. She's a mare. And she's 16 hands high, so she's tall. You listening to us this morning, Callie? Callie's color is gray, and she looks like she's dappled. So she's got this very unique coat pattern. Callie, you're gorgeous. Okay, this is Starbuck, which I'm gonna guess Starbuck got her name because she is buckskin color. You feel about as awake as Callie looks. Girl, me too. I had to get up early. Had to take the dogs to the groomer, drop them off for the day. Starbuck, you want to turn around and say hi? Or you're busy? I see. Starbuck is also a mountain pleasure mare, so she's another one of the gaited horses, which means she has a very smooth ride. When you ride these gaited horses, there's no need to post like you see people who ride the trotters and thoroughbreds do. You can ride these horses either with Western saddles or English saddles. Okay. All right. Look at how gorgeous you are. This is Zoe. She's an Appaloosa. She's got those gorgeous, gorgeous spots. Zoe was born in 2018, and she is 15 hands. So she's a nice, good size for for trail riding. Looks like Zoe's had her bath this morning too. When we go in the big barn to see the Percherons, we'll be able to see them without these gates here. All right, now we have, who is this? This is a Gypsy Vanner. What's her name?
Effie.
Epi. Hi, Epi. Epi's getting ready for the show. Epi probably uses a lot of purple shampoo, whitening shampoo. She like, yeah, I can tell. So Epi has the feathered feet that you see in the Gypsy Vanner breed, as well as draft horses. Can't see her face. There she is. Hi, Epi. I think I saw her yesterday. Was she in the show yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's gorgeous. And unless it's raining, this show should happen?
Even if it's raining, it will.
Okay.
It won't be impossible. We'll be in just rain gear.
Rain gear, okay.
The only way that it should be called off if there was
Lightning, thunder, that kind of thing. Okay. I think this is moving out here in the next hour. Yeah. Okay, this is a Lipizan. And her name is Willow. Hi, Willow. And she is all about whatever is on her block. I love that the gate is fairly open between the stalls so the horses can talk to each other without hurting each other. All right. This is where they perform. This is the Parade of Breeds ring. Okay. There are more horses over here, so we'll go check them out. I hate that it's raining today, but it is what it is. There's their bath stall where they take their bath. All right, here we have. This is I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to try not to mess it up. Feel free to put in the comments if I need to correct my pronunciation. But this is a Chincoteague pony. Her name is Dawn. Misty's Red Dawn. She's like, hey, lady. So these horses were made famous by Marguerite Henry's series of children's books about Misty and her family. And this breed of pony has lived on the island of Assateague for centuries, where they were able to adopt to a sparse diet. Each July, saltwater cowboys guide the ponies on a swim across the channel to Chincoteague Island for the pony penning carnival and foal auction. How'd you get to the United States, Misty? Or Dawn. Your name is Dawn. Now we have a Norwegian Ford. This is Solvig. This very unique cream color. And not sure if you can see that, but Norwegian Fords have a black mane or a black piece that runs through their mane, and they usually have a black forelock as well. Solvig is busy eating, so she's not gonna show us her forelock or her mane right now. This is a Highland pony, Arabella. Is she a dun?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's unique about her is this, see this black stripe going down her back? That's a sign of what they call a dun as far as her color. Looks like she's getting ready for the show.
She's actually not going to be in the
She's
show.
not in
Just
it?
like to
Okay.
make sure they're all clean and ready.
Ah. She has the day off. Just getting her feet cleaned out. Okay. She sure is pretty. I think there's a Hall of Champions show coming up. Let me see what time it is. If it is, we will head up there. It's at 10:30, so we have a little bit of time for that. Good, we can keep looking at these babies. Now we have an Andalusian. This is Listo. This is a gelding, born in 2014. Beautiful color. Beautiful color. 16 hands, so on the taller side. None of them want to really show us their faces right now because they just got their hay in their hay bags. So they are all about their breakfast. Well, hello. Okay. Oh, we have a Rocky Mountain. This is Ghost. Ghost was born in 2013. Pretty black color. 15 hands high. This is the breed I'm most familiar with, as I had a Rocky Mountain horse. I also had mountain pleasure horses. This is a gaited horse. This breed of horses originated right here in Kentucky, over in eastern Kentucky, in the area known as Natural Bridge or Red River Gorge. They were bred to be very versatile. So these were horses that you could trail ride. These were horses you could work in the field. The eastern Kentucky region is... the eastern Kentucky region was, sorry about that, I just got a text message. The eastern Kentucky region was very mountainous, so they were known for being able to climb and handle the rough terrain. And they're very smooth horses. So this is Ghost. Ghost must have already had his breakfast. All right, this is, what is this? Black leopard gelding. You're very colorful. A Sugarbush Harlequin draft horse. (2015) is when you were born, so you are 9 years old. Now we have a Dale's pony. This is Eris, the Aristocat, or Aristocrat. Sorry, my Disney's coming out of me. Aristocat. 2007 bay gelding. 14 hands, so he's a little on the smaller side. Anything under 14.3, I think, is considered a pony. It's either 14.2 or 14.3, I forget. But the Dale's pony was bred to be a hardy farm and a pack pony, so he carried things. He is able to carry hundreds of pounds over great distances in and around the Pennine mountain range in England, so he has a British background. So they're known for their strength, their agility, their hardiness. So they are a great riding pony as well as driving pony. Have a good day, Eris. Get your rest. Oh my goodness, look what we have here. What a sweetie. This is a fell pony. This is Windsor. Windsor was born in 2016. Another one of the breeds from England, known for its hardiness, courage, and adaptability. They also worked in that same Pennine mountain village or mountain region of England. Another pack pony. He has the feathering on his legs. Oop. Hi. Is it okay to film him with you? Yeah. Okay.
He's going to be in the show at 11.
Is he going to be in the show? Okay. We're going to try and be here for that. Are you going to show him in hand or riding?
He's riding.
He's riding. Okay. Nice. Great. This one has left the premises. The American saddlebred is out and about too. Walk on the side that we are supposed to be on.
Oh, hi. Are we doing a rain test?
All right, I'm gonna put my umbrella back up. Keep my equipment from. We're gonna make our way up now to the Hall of Champions. I will show you guys the, oh, here comes the announcer. I recognize her from yesterday. The Hall of Champions. And which way is gonna be the best way to go? I think it's gonna be this way. I may have to turn around. Yeah, Hall of Champions. We're gonna go this way. So the Hall of Champions is where we'll get to see some standardbreds and thoroughbreds that have been big winners in the racing industry. They are now retired and living here at the Kentucky Horse Park. These are multi-million-dollar winning horses. Some of them you may have heard of. And over the years, there has been Triple Crown winners, Belmont winners, Derby runners. Some of the names I think you'll recognize. When a horse passes that was a Hall of Champion, they're actually buried here as well. Walking uphill. Yeah, people are starting to head into the Hall of Champions show. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to the Hall of Champions.
Thank you. So this is the burial place of John Henry. Thoroughbred. Over here we have Alishiba.
There were some horses just running around. I was just taking a picture. Yeah.
So Alishiba won the Kentucky Derby and won the Preakness and was 4th in the Belmont. So didn't get the Triple Crown, but I do remember the excitement around that. All right, let's go in and grab a seat. Good morning, how are you?
Very good, how are you, ma'am?
Doing well.
Here for the 10:30 show?
Yes.
So if you go straight through the barn to the covered pavilion and grab yourself a seat.
Okay.
We'll be starting shortly.
All right, thank you. Who remembers Go for Jen? Go for Jen was also a Kentucky Derby winner. Won the Kentucky Derby in 1994, was 2nd in the Preakness and 2nd in the Belmont. So almost a Triple Crown winner. This is Go for Jen's burial spot, and they're currently raising funds for a memorial for Go for Jen. This is Invisible Ink. Was 2nd in the Kentucky Derby in 2001. I love how they put the memorial bushes in the shape of a horseshoe. All right, let's go see some of these current winners living here in the Hall of Champions and grab our seat. I want to sit in the front, so I don't want to be one of the last ones in. Over there, you can kind of see some people who are on horseback. Definitely a show going on today. Is this Roy?
Yeah, that's Roy.
Hi, Roy. Good morning. Are you going to be in the show today?
No.
He's like, what? He's like, I have to work today? Roy is a thoroughbred. 2-time Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. So he is fast on his feet. Yes, you are. Yes, he says, yes, I am.
The combination is pretty good, yeah.
This is Maran Marauder. Maran Marauder is a standardbred.
Yeah, dual action. Dual action.
He's a bit sassy from what I was able to learn about him. Hopefully he'll be in the show today too. Accelerate's my favorite. I don't know, between Roy and Accelerate. I don't know, I love them both.
He's going to be in the show this morning.
Accelerate, you're going to be in the show today? Are you all prettied up and ready to go? So Accelerate is one of the multi-millionaires as far as what he has won. He, I believe he won the Breeders' Cup. And then this is Western Dreamer. Western Dreamer just had a birthday.
Yeah. Doing the same thing. Well, they like companions. They need another horse around.
Hi, Dreamer.
Okay. Yeah.
Seeing that brought back memories.
Yeah. He loves his ball.
We heard what you do with your ball. Was it him or was it Marauder that throws his ball out the window?
Dreamer.
Dreamer throws his ball out the window, so they have to go get it.
The reason
So-
this is all scrunched up right here is because
See,
grab
it,
he'll
yeah.
grab it, tear it off. You can see
Yeah, he's done some damage.
yeah.
You're sassy for an old
It's
man.
just so entertaining. We don't want to take it away.
Yeah. So Dreamer is a standardbred. He's the 1997 Pacing Triple Crown winner, which is like the highest honor you can win. All right. Okay. So these are some of the horses that have lived here that have either passed away or have moved on. Who remembers Funnyside? We have about 6 minutes to the show. Some of the other horses that have been here. I keep coming back to Roy. I love Roy. Roy. Roy is feeling it today.
We have.
Hi, buddy. I do think you're my favorite. You and Accelerate. You and Accelerate are my favorite, bud. Okay, we're gonna go get our seat.
Well, Trainer Paula was here one day and sat out there. I didn't notice her. And she came back over with
Good morning. Hi.
Chase in modern times is a race with thoroughbred racehorses who are all registered at the jockey club, just like horses that run on the flat. Instead of running on the flat, where it's
I'm gonna put my umbrella away, so I'm gonna set you all down here for just a minute.
The horses have to be both fast and athletic enough to jump over hurdles, or natural fences, as we call them in the United States.
Let you look that way just for a second.
And the horses race and then jump these obstacles as they're racing, so it's kind of an added element, almost like people that run track and field. Some people just run the 400-meter dash, and some people run further with the hurdles. So the same thing with horses.
The Maryland Hunt Cup is a grueling 4-mile course known as the most demanding event in timber racing, America's version of steeplechase. We're riding with jockey Eric Perez on a horse named Touchdown Tony. It's one of the many races in the fall and spring when timber jockeys roam the rolling hills of Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania in the run to the Maryland Hunt Cup.
So again, if you're just joining me, we're here at the Hall of Champions at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky. My name is Kimberly. I am known as Disney Girl Kim, so you may be wondering why is someone whose name is Disney Girl Kim at the Kentucky Horse Park? Well, that's because I actually live here in Lexington, Kentucky area, and I travel back and forth, and I actually travel all over. So we are starting our channel. So if you're having a good time, looking forward to seeing some of these gorgeous horses, please hit the like button for me. That tells YouTube that I'm here and that you're having a good time. And if you're so inclined, if you could subscribe as well, we'd love that.
Sometimes then we'll get younger horses that we just like the look of, and in that case, we will look at their pedigree and see if their pedigree indicates that they would like to run longer races or can run longer races, or that they have, other siblings in that country that have
What's that?
The birds come in here all the time.
These birds have found a good place to stay. I think they're house martins is what I've been able. Yeah, there's definitely a nest here somewhere. And I'm pretty sure they're martins by the way they fly. Yeah, barn martins or house martins or something like that. They were watching the show yesterday. I was watching them. They were right behind her, and they were just enjoying it.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to the Hall of Champions here at the always beautiful, always perfect
Here we
weather.
go, folks. Enjoy the
Kentucky
show.
Horse Park. That's a lie, by the way. It is Kentucky, and I'm sure it's very much like where you folks are from. We can have as many as, 5 seasons in one day, so can't get too hung up what the weather's doing. Although there is an exception to that. Last summer, we had a period of, I think it was 6 or 7 days in a row where the heat index was 101 and above. I think 101 was the lowest it was that week. And so we just kind of casually got together and came up with a name for that 5th season. but I really can't share it here for obvious reasons. Before we start, thought I might warm you up a little bit of trivia, if you're feeling up for that. If not, we're going to do it anyway, so just play along, I guess. One question, 3 parts, and the subject is the thoroughbred triple
Put your
crown,
answer in the
but
comments.
the topic is flowers, so you don't need to know anything about horses. And you guys can just yell out the answers. I know you know the first part. All right, so when a horse wins the Kentucky Derby, they're draped in a blanket of roses. Absolutely right, I need to know that. 2 weeks later, which is a very quick turnaround time for 3-year-old thoroughbreds, because remember, only 3-year-olds can compete in Triple Crown races. So they have a very, very narrow window in their entire careers. It's either, win those races on those particular days or not, and that's it, no second chances. So when a horse wins the Preakness, that horse is draped in a blanket of
Carnations.
Hold on to that thought. Let me give you a hint. Take a daisy and punch it in the eye. Black-eyed Susan. Very good job. Absolutely right. 3 weeks later is the Belmont Stakes, called the Test of a Champion. They call it that for a couple of different reasons. I think the best reason is the distance of 1.5 miles. That's considered practically a marathon-like distance for horses at 3 years old and also at any age old. Here in America, we really favor precocious speed. So we breed our horses to be really fast when they're really young. In Europe and Great Britain, they have a lot more stamina influence in their bloodlines. Here in the US, not so much. So when a horse wins the Belmont, that horse is draped in a blanket of carnations. Absolutely right, carnations. A little background on these 3 flowers. The roses are always real. The Black-eyed Susan's a little bit more complicated, shall we say. Apparently they don't naturally bloom before the Preakness, so there's been years where they've taken daisies and not punched them in the eye, but actually painted the centers black and called them Black-eyed Susans. The nerve of them. And the carnation's probably the most disappointing maybe of all. As we all know, the most probably easy to get, boringest flower in the world. You get them anywhere at any time, and they're pretty inexpensive. And yeah, there's been years they've used fake carnations. Not even like silk fake, but kind of the plasticky fake. I don't think that's happened recently. I think if it were to happen, social media would be in an uproar. So I'm going to keep an eye on this year's Belmont Stakes and make sure I hold their feet to the fire, so to speak. But you guys are in for a treat this morning. You're going to meet 2 champions, and both of these horses did some pretty amazing things in their jobs as professional racehorses. So they won lots of races and lots of money, millions of dollars as a matter of fact. But of course, that's a small part of what makes them special. They all have great stories to go along with the numbers and the dollar signs as well. And it's not all about thoroughbreds either. You're going to meet a thoroughbred and a standardbred. I know when people come to Kentucky and hear racehorse, they just assume only thoroughbreds are racehorses, right? Definitely not the case. We have 2 different breeds represented in the Hall of Champions, and Lexington, the town itself, has 2 different race courses, both of them actually devoted to a different breed of racehorse. Keeneland is where thoroughbreds race. The Red Mile is where standardbreds race. And the difference is they're a completely separate breed. So think of it this way, a standardbred and a thoroughbred are as different as a quarter horse and an Arabian, right? Now, as far as thoroughbreds and standardbreds go, if you go back a couple hundred years, thoroughbreds and other breeds helped to develop the initial standardbred, but they've been going down separate paths, literally separate tracks ever since. So you're never going to see a thoroughbred wearing a harness racing against standardbreds, and you'll never see a standardbred with a jockey on his back racing against thoroughbreds. So 2 completely different ways of racing, sort of like, NASCAR and IndyCar. They're different looking cars, they have different rules. They're both cars though, but you're never going to see them in the same race together. But up first is actually the richest horse that lives here at the Kentucky Horse Park. He's one of our newest arrivals as well. He joined us at the tail end of last year. His name is Accelerate, and he had an incredible 2018. He did well other years too, but 2018 really was the epitome of really any racehorse's career. He was mostly a California horse. He spent most of his time out there winning races there. He did come to Kentucky, though, for the 2018 Breeders' Cup, where he won the Classic, which is the biggest race all year for pretty much all thoroughbreds in the world. And he also sort of came upon the scene in 2017, the year before. He came in a race, and he actually beat the big horse of the moment, a horse named Arrogate. He was already a multimillionaire, and he was undefeated as well. And no one expected Arrogate to lose. He was one of those foregone conclusions. No way could he lose. Accelerate pretty much just demolished him. So here he is doing his best work, Accelerate.
We're looking at a massive upset. Arrogate is still far, far back in the 4th spot. It's Accelerate and Victor Espinosa. Clear by 8-9 lengths here. Accelerate romps home.
It's Accelerate, turning away giant expectations at the top of the lane. Past the 8th pole comes Accelerate with an unassailable lead in the set. Anita handicap. John Sadler has his big gap. Accelerate by 5 lengths. Accelerate moves up He has the big cat goat. Come double at his mercy. Accelerate, running right away.
Accelerate kicks for home, and there goes Accelerate, and he's widening fast now. He's opened up 6, 7 lengths, and it is all Accelerate clear by double figures with a 16th of a mile to go. They said he would overwhelm this field, and he certainly has.
All right, Accelerate's in there, ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And they're into the stretch, and it's Accelerate, and on the inside, Mendelssohn Thundersnow, roaring up between those two. It is Accelerate. He's coming down to the 16th pole in front. Thundersnow on the inside is next. Then Mendelssohn, Ganavera, and Yoshida on the far outside. They're coming to the wire, and Accelerate wins the Breeders' Cup Classic.
How about a big hand for Accelerate? Accelerate is 11 years old, and he's the only stallion you'll find here at the horse park as well. A stallion is simply an adult, intact male horse. In other words, he still has everything he's born with in that particular department. Now, of course, a horse that had a year like that actually won 5 Grade 1 stakes races. That's the highest level you can actually compete at. 4 of those were at the classic distance of 1.25 miles. You don't see that much with horses anymore. And also, he actually swept the 3 big, what they call handicap races out in California. That's just a type of race where horses get assigned a specific weight to carry. Similar to golf handicaps, the better horses get more weight to carry, the not so good horses get less weight to carry. The idea is to kind of balance out all the talent. He actually swept the Pacific Classic, the Gold Cup, and the San Diego Handicap. Santa Anita Handicap, as a matter of fact. And he's only one of 3 horses to ever have done that, too. And to top the year off with him winning really the biggest race all year, that race that brings all the best horses from around the world together in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I mean, he would have been a shoo-in to win Horse of the Year title. And that's something that's voted on by industry insiders. Unfortunately, there was another horse that did very well, did something very special in 2018, and that horse was Justify. Some of you may remember him. He won the Triple Crown in 2018. Now, usually there'd be no debate about it. Obviously, Justify is going to be named Horse of the Year, but there's a lot of spirited debate between both the experts, the professionals, and also on Twitter, on social media. People had really good points for each horse. Obviously, it's very difficult to buck tradition like that, so Justify was named Horse of the Year. He got a lot of votes, though, and he came in second. It's not as fun sounding as Horse of the Year. He was named Champion Older Dirt Male. So it doesn't quite roll off the tongue like Horse of the Year, but basically he would have been Horse of the Year if Justify had not won the Triple Crown that year. Just kind of one of those things. Now, he was actually sold to Lane's End Farm to begin his new career as a stud or a stallion before his final race of his career. That final race was the Pegasus World Cup. It took place down in Florida. A very rich race. It changes amounts of purse amounts each year. But that year, he came in 3rd in that race, but he still took home a check for $900,000. So if you're going to come in 3rd in a race, I suggest that race is the one to do it in, that's for sure. He stood for 5 seasons at Lane's End. And he had a lot of good, horses, some good sons and daughters out there. Unfortunately, he never really hit it big with a really big one out there. And I'll give you an example of that. The same day that Accelerate was retired to Lane's End, another horse named City of Light was retired as well. City of Light has a son named Fierceness, you may have heard of. He was supposed to win the Kentucky Derby this year. Very, very good horse. He won the juveniles, a 2-year-old too. There's a lot of competition in Kentucky and elsewhere. There's a lot of other stallions available and supply and demand, that kind of thing. So he's retired from stud duty, so he's basically pensioned. That means he doesn't have any job to do that's very taxing the rest of his career. And he joined us at the end of last season. He retired with earnings of $6.69 million. He won 10 of 23 lifetime starts. And out of those 10 races, actually, 9 of them were graded stakes races, too. So let's hear it for Accelerate!
Hi, Emily.
All right, so as I mentioned earlier, you're going to meet 2 different breeds of racehorses this morning. We just met a thoroughbred. Next, you're going to meet a standardbred. You might know standardbreds better as harness racing horses or trotters or pacers. All those words kind of basically point to the same breed of horse, a standardbred. Standardbreds are different than thoroughbreds. You're never going to see them racing together. And standardbreds themselves actually have 2 natural varieties.
We are in the Hall of Champions.
Trotters, and those who pace, they're called pacers. And it's an inherited trait, so you don't need to make one into the other.
Good morning,
you already know
Darla.
by the time the baby is born, called the foal, you already know if it's going to trot or it's going to pace naturally. The difference is the way they move their legs. I'll get a little bit more into that once he gets out here. But because there are two different types of standardbreds, they have two different Triple Crown series for standardbreds. One is the trotting Triple Crown, the other is the pacing Triple Crown. Up next, you're going to meet Maran Marauder, who won the 2016 Standardbred Trotting Triple Crown.
Maran
Now,
Marauder
obviously, their Triple
is
Crown
sassy.
has some things kind of in common with the Thoroughbred Triple Crown. Probably the most important is only 3-year-olds can race. So there's one shot in their entire careers, a very narrow window. Either get it done or not. There's no second chances. There are, not surprisingly, 3 races. That's where the triple comes in. They're spaced pretty close together. And last but not least, it's a big deal to win a Triple Crown in any kind of horse racing, that's for sure. As you're about to see, Marauder had a bit of the entertainer in him. I think he liked to keep people in suspense. In each of these 3 races, you barely know he won until you actually get the official results. It's very, very close. He makes it very exciting. He likes to keep people on the edges of their seats, apparently. The first race is the Hambletonian. There's $1 million up for grabs in that race, and it's nationally televised. You may have accidentally seen it on television one of these years. The second race is the Yonkers Trot, and the third race takes place right here in Lexington at the Red Mile. That's called the Kentucky Futurity. So here is Maran Marauder.
Marauder will be out here in just a second.
The 91st Hambletonian for $1 million. Here they come. Midway on the final turn, it's bar hopping, and on the outside, here comes Maran Marauder. Maran Marauder with a full head of steam. Bar hopping on the inside, the 2 elimination
I say next year we have a Crazy Crew Derby event, and everybody come to Kentucky and let's go to the Derby together. We'll do the infield.
Marauder has open road, bar hopping, battling back, weightlifter Jay angles. And Sullivan Frank is coming, Maran Marauder, Sullivan Frank. Maran Marauder and Sullivan Frank, they hit the line together.
That may have been the greatest Hambletonian I've ever seen.
Final turn, Maran Marauder, Violet for the inside small town throwdown. Still plugging away on the outside, Lagerfeld. And then comes Couplet Cameron, headed out of the park. Into the stretch of the Yonkers Trot final. And still Maran Marauder shoulders the load. Here comes small town throwdown. And on the outside, Lagerfeld. It's Maran Marauder, small town throwdown. Maran Marauder takes the Yonkers Trot final.
Jewel Tronics Triple Crown, a fantastic field of 12. Maran Marauder trying for the Triple Crown. Maran Marauder on the far outside is coming. Southwind Frank to the lead. Maran Marauder charging hard on the outside. Southwind Frank.
Hi, Marty.
Maran Marauder is lunging late. These 2 come down the line. Maran Marauder. Triple Crown. Maran Marauder wins it by nose.
Pretty awesome. Let's hear from Maran Marauder. That's right, that is Maran Marauder. He is an 11-year-old standardbred trotter. Now, you can't tell by looking at standardbreds if they're naturally a trotter or a pacer. The reason for that is all horses walk the same way. But it's what they do when they're asked to go fast. They either trot or they pace, and as mentioned before, they're already born knowing how to do it. It's inherited from their parents, and it's inherited from their parents before them, and their parents before them, etc., etc. And the important thing to understand is that you're never going to see pacers and trotters in the same race for a very legitimate reason. Horses, standardbreds who pace actually go a little bit faster than standardbreds who trot. It's just a biomechanical reasons, basically. So it'd be very unfair to put a trotter in with a horse who was born able to go faster naturally. So that's why trotters race against trotters and pacers race against pacers. That's why there's a trotting Triple Crown and a pacing Triple Crown. And the first thing you may notice about him is he's not the biggest horse you've probably ever seen. He probably actually looks bigger up on the tiny screens we have here as well. And that kind of brings out an important point when it comes to athletes, equine athletes as well. Size doesn't always mean they're going to be really good at the sport they've chosen to do. In his case, you know, he probably was a little bit shorter, maybe 2 or 3 inches shorter as a yearling. And the yearling is a time when people go to buy horses, usually at big public auctions. You go and you put your bid down, you bid against other people. And another great thing about his story too is it's a family story. He was owned and trained by the same immediate family, a family that had been involved in this kind of racing for a couple generations. So this wasn't just their job, this was their life, their livelihood. He was trained by a married couple, Paula Wellwood and Mike Keeling, and Paula was the one who actually found him at one of those yearling sales here in Kentucky. I think a lot of people overlooked him or just kind of scratched him off their to look at list because of his height and his size. A lot of people just like really bigger horses. So she was able to get him for only $37,000 as a yearling. Yearling horses are about a year old and they've not yet raced. So you're basing what you want to pay for it kind of on the family tree or the pedigree, you know, what did its relatives do out there in the racetrack, how the horse looks, how it moves, because how a horse walks can tell you a little bit about how it's going to trot when it gets out there in the racetrack. And that was a very good buy because he actually retired with earnings of $3.3 million in his career. Now don't run out and buy yourself a standardbred. It usually goes the other way, unfortunately. Most people end up losing money in horse racing, so don't get all excited about that. It's just a great example of what can happen to a really nice family. This was not like a big, major corporation either. This married couple, they had only, I think, a dozen horses in their entire stable the whole year of 2016. So they weren't this big, you know, multi-million-dollar firm out there that trains and raises horses. So it's really cool. And of course, winning a Triple Crown is a really big deal, right? And of course, they thought, you know what, let's retire him to stud. Let's have him make some babies out there. That way we can have a lot of little Maran Marauders for generations to come. And a little bit of residual income on the side too, which never hurts. So they decided to do that. And you got a lot of interest from mare owners who wanted to actually introduce their mare to him and hopefully end up with a little baby about 11 months later. Unfortunately, it turned out that Mother Nature had another idea in mind. Turns out that things that should be swimming weren't swimming. So I know, what are you going to do? Well, he was still only 4 years old. He was still in racing fit condition, and they decided, let's just bring him back into training. And he was good, if not a little bit better than before as well. He was only off for a couple months. In fact, the year he retired, he was 7 years old. That's the year he trotted his fastest mile ever, his personal best, basically. And that's a thing that you tend to see with standardbreds compared to thoroughbreds. They tend to get better, even faster, as they get older. They also tend to race a lot more often than thoroughbreds do. It's no big deal for some of these horses to race weekly, for weeks, for months, for seasons at a time, retire sound, fit and happy, and go on to do other things as well. Now, as I mentioned, he's a trotter. What a trot is something all of you guys have seen your entire lives if you've ever watched a dog or a cat, because they do it all the time too. It's what's called a diagonal gait because they move legs in opposite corners at the same time. So right front leg and left hind leg move together, then the opposite of that, left front, right hind, and so on and so on and so on. The other kind of standardbred is a pacer, and a pace isn't diagonal, it's lateral. So instead of moving legs in opposite corners, they move both right legs, then both left, both right, both left. That's a pace. The only thing you need to remember about that is you're never going to see pacers and trotters ever racing together. It's always trotters against trotters and pacers against pacers. So of course, you know, he finishes his wonderful career, retires with $3.3 million, one of the richest active standardbred trotters at the time. And this is 2020, by the way, if you guys remember that year, that was a pandemic year. And his owners really weren't sure what to do with them, where was going to go, what his next kind of step in life was going to be. And they'd not yet contacted us, so they decided at that point to geld him. And a gelding is simply a neutered or castrated male horse. Although he did race, of course, as an intact male horse called a colt, he is currently a gelding. But don't feel too bad for him. He's not once brought it up in conversation. So I don't think he even thinks about it. I don't even think he knows it happened. So don't feel too badly for him. He's been with us actually since 2022, and almost from the moment he stepped off the trailer, he's been a perfect fit. He's got the right attitude. He's an easygoing kind of horse. And generally speaking, standardbreds do tend to be a little bit less hot-blooded compared to thoroughbreds as well. They're very easy to get along with. He's very cuddly. They like to be pet and have a lot of attention on them too. So let's hear it for Maran Marauder. Questions we get a lot that I'll cover right now. One of them is, how do horses get here? And once here, who pays for them? Two ways they get here. They're either donated to the horse park by their owners, or they're kind of put here by their owners to live out the rest of their days here, but they still are technically owned by their owners. And regardless of how they get here, the horse park actually pays all the bills. And you guys help with your admission as well, so thank you for that. The other question is, do they ever get to go outside? People see horses in their stalls when you're here at the park and worry that maybe they never get to go out. The opposite is true. The only time they're in their stalls is when you folks are here, right? So we can prepare them for the show, so we can bathe them. You guys can see them up close, we can put them in the show. At the end of the day, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, the horses up here have their own individual private paddock. And so we open up their stall door to that. It stays open all night. So they're out until about 8 the next morning or so. And that's true throughout the rest of the park as well. I want to thank you guys for coming out. Our next show is the 11 o'clock Parade of Breeds. It's very easy to get to. It's one straight shot downhill in that direction. There's going to be music and horses and talking, and afterwards you can pet all those horses too. So thanks a lot for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Crazy crew, thank you for coming over. Y'all are so sweet. I appreciate your support. And if there's anyone here who does not know and enjoys Disney, please go check out that crazy Disney lady. She is the best live streamer for the Disney parks. All right, let's see if I can get down here without killing myself. No guarantees. Okay. But again, I appreciate you all for being here. We'll see Roy again on the way out and see if we can see Accelerate up close.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Next up, we will go to the Parade of Breeds. We have a few minutes to kill, so I'll take you down and show you some horses who are currently warming up for an event here at the park.
We're having a big event.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Let's Accelerate. Can I go? Am I allowed to walk up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
So this is Accelerate, who you saw. And he's like, look, I'm done working. Oops. Just trying to focus on the fence. He's like, I'm done and I need a booty scratch. And then Marauder was over here. You saw him last. And he's back in his stall. This is Western Dreamer. He's another standardbred Triple Crown winner. And we were talking earlier about how his favorite thing to do, he is 30 years old, so he's the oldest member. And what he likes to do is take his Jolly Ball, which is like a toy that they have to keep them busy and entertained. And he likes to throw it out of his window so that the park workers have to go and fetch it in the mud. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. He is 30 years old. He's a good boy. And this is Roy H. And there's a reason why Roy is back here where we can't get to him. He's got a long reach. Hi, Roy. So good to see you today. So good to see you. Of course, Roy is a thoroughbred. Roy is a thoroughbred, and there's his Jolly Ball. Keep him busy. He's like, I'm beautiful and I know it. Okay. So this park is probably most famous for Man o' War, one of the most famous racehorses in the entire world. He is buried here, and there is a statue in his honor. A lot of his offspring are buried here as well, so we will make sure that on today's stream that I take you there so you can see his memorial. So these are horses that you see people riding that are going to be in the Parade of Breeds. They're warming up. Oh no, you guys are fine. No, they're fine. I'm live streaming. It's fine. We're on YouTube right now. Yeah.
We're on YouTube right now.
Yeah. So they're fine. They can talk. They're not hurting a thing. Okay. So I'm gonna let this school go by first, and I don't want to put kids who may have parents that don't want them on stream. So we're gonna go this way and let them pass. Vicky, thank you for subscribing. We'll walk down here for a minute. The horse park is beautiful. I'm gonna go down here and show you the covered arena. Hi, Cindy. How are you today? Look at all these crazy crew popping in here. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna ask him what breed show this is. What breed is your show?
Quarter horse.
Quarter horse show,
Yep.
okay. I should have known that. Bombi, thank you. I appreciate you for subscribing. Let's go see some of these gorgeous quarter horses down here. I think the rain is finally moving out. And I want to show you all this covered arena as well. Not gonna lie, there are times I miss showing horses. My family and I would come here every year, twice a year, and show in gaited horse shows, the internationals. My little cousin actually has won a couple of world championships with horses that he has trained, which is where I get my love from horses from. It's kind of in our family. But I don't have horses anymore. Horses are also a very, very, very expensive hobby. But this is what we call the old arena or the covered arena, because this is the original show arena on the property. Now we have the Alltech Center, which I will not be able to go over there today. But these quarter horses are warming up, getting ready for their show. Today is probably what they call move-in day, which means they're getting here, getting the horses settled, acclimated. They're getting registered for their classes and making their last-minute preparations. So this is the covered arena. All right. We have 5 minutes till the parade of breeds, so we're gonna head up that way. I just wanted to let that school class go. I didn't want to put them on screen. The temperature here today is perfect. I am really enjoying it. All right, we're headed over this way. You were here 2 weeks ago? Cindy, how did you like it? And was it your first visit? What I love about it is it's so spacious. You can literally just take your time, do anything. They have all the events lined up so that you could just 1, 2, 3, walk your way through and literally see everything. This is a good time of year to come because the different shows and events are starting. It's going to get very busy here soon. Here's the memorial and burial site for Cigar. Anybody remember him? I remember seeing him here in the Hall of Champions. Okay. All right, let's go to the breeds barn. Hello, little Robin. Like, don't talk to me. Oh, the pony's out. The ponies are out. There's nothing meaner on the planet than a miniature pony. Let me tell you. All right, I need to go get a seat. Gonna catch my first copyright too.
So I'm going to download the new one, the latest one, and thumb drive, the last one we did.
All right, let's try and find a seat.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, to the Breeds Barn. As our riders, handlers, and horses make their final preparations, we'd like to invite everyone to leave the shed room and stable areas and make your way into the seating area. In just a few moments, during performances that feature music, narration, and colorful costumes, you'll be introduced to horses that represent a variety of breeds from across the country.
I would set this down.
During the show, for the safety and enjoyment of all, we ask that you keep at least 3 big steps away from the white fence surrounding the ring. You'll have plenty of time to meet, greet, and interact.
So this is the parade of breeds. You're going to get to see a lot of different breeds of horses and their riders. Some will be shown in hand, some will be shown on horseback, and they will tell you about all the different characteristics of the breed.
Once again, it's time to make your way into the seating area. Our show will begin shortly.
The Parade of Breeds is presented by the horse world's most trusted name, Absorbing Horse Care Products. They've been delivering innovative horse care products since 1892, and we're thankful to Absorbing for keeping our horses looking and feeling their best. And welcome to the Parade of Breeds here at the Kentucky Horse Barn. Since 1978, these 1,200 acres have been dedicated to our partner, the horse. We're here to educate, entertain, and engage our visitors with all things equine. Before we start, we have some reminders that will make the parade more enjoyable for everybody. So while the show's in progress, please don't stand or sit near the white fence that surrounds the arena. It also applies to any visiting pets and things like strollers, scooters, wheelchairs, etc. It'll help keep some of that dust or maybe mud today off of you and your stuff. And it gives our horses a little extra breathing room or comfort zone out there. And that changes during the meet and greet part of the show. That's the second part, when you can get up close and personal, talk to the riders, and pet the horses. Especially for the kids out there, we appreciate your unbridled enthusiasm. Couple things up. Please no high-pitched screeching or banging on the metal bleachers. And just remember that walking is always the fastest speed anybody needs to go during the meet and greet. The horses won't leave until you've all had a chance to meet them. And because I know some of you have umbrellas out there, just keep in mind that horses see umbrellas as very scary monsters. So please never open an umbrella directly in the face of a horse. Or try and keep your umbrellas actually stowed when it's not raining as well. Thanks. But most importantly, have some fun out there. Feel free to cheer and applaud. Our horses, and certainly people too, appreciate all that positive feedback. Before we start, I have one very important question. Are you guys ready to meet some horses? That's great, because we're actually starting off with a bang this morning. We're showcasing one of our dedicated mounted police sergeants. Please welcome Sergeant Dave and Coda. Centuries ago, British farmers and landowners decided to make horse racing a part of their lives and livelihoods. Now here's the modern example of an effort to create the perfect ratio of speed and stamina in a horse bred to race. This is the thoroughbred former racehorse Callie. Now, Kentucky is known as the horse capital of the world, but our most famous breed, the thoroughbred, is actually an import. Its origins date back to late 17th century Great Britain. That's where horses of all types and breeds have been racing in head-to-head contests called match races for centuries. In the late 1600s, early 1700s, 3 stallions, and a stallion is just a fodder horse. They were imported to England and named after their owners. They're known as the Byerly Turk, the Darley Arabian, and the Godolphin Arabian. Now, bred with a variety of native and imported mares, their offspring had power, speed, and stamina, and the foundation of the breed was built. A son of the Darley Arabian by the name of Bull Rock was the first to arrive in the U.S. colonies in 1730. Over the following 45 years, 186 imported thoroughbreds joined him to become the foundation of the American thoroughbred. Now, thoroughbreds are also seen in many other equine sports besides just racing, including eventing, jumping, and dressage. They're also used on the trails as general riding horses and in harness as pleasure driving horses. And many former racehorses become riding and driving horses too. One organization that specializes in retraining is the Secretariat Center. They just happen to be located right here on the horse park grounds. Callie out there actually is a graduate of their program. A thoroughbred's athleticism and refined appearance are its defining characteristics. Now these horses can reach speeds of over 40 miles an hour. And even though they're powerful, muscular horses, they're able to move with grace and agility. Now, the thoroughbred breed was a major influence on many other breeds, especially the Morgan and Standardbred. Today, the breed is commonly used to add refinement and athleticism to a variety of sport horse types. And you've heard I mention that she's a former racehorse. She wasn't much of a racehorse, though. She had one race that happened in November of 2020. She came in 5th, and she came up with a minor injury, and her folks decided that she wasn't made to be a racehorse and retired her. She was born in 2018, and she was donated to the horse park by the nice folks at the Secretariat Center. Have a hand for our pair, Faith and Callie. Up next, a breed that lives free on an island. This is the Chincoteague pony, Misty's Red Dawn. Living free on an island, this breed became famous thanks to Margaret Henry's books at the annual Pony Swim and Auction. Now, these ponies are named after Chincoteague Island, but they actually live on Assateague Island. That's a nearby national wildlife refuge off the coast of Virginia. How the ponies ended up on that island has been up for debate, and there once was a legend that they survived a shipwreck and swam to the island, but it's now understood that they were placed there by settlers. Now, why would you do that? Well, pretty simple, to avoid having to pay livestock taxes and put up fences. Through the centuries, various other breeds have contributed to the modern Chincoteague pony, including thoroughbreds, Arabians, Mustangs, and Shetland ponies. Assateague Island is a harsh habitat for any equine, but these ponies have adapted to life there over hundreds of years. They subsist on a diet of saltwater cordgrass. That gives some of them a slightly pot-bellied appearance due to all the extra water they drink. The modern pony auction began in 1925. It was a way to raise money for the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company, and it's still held the last Thursday every July. The way it works is the ponies on Assateague Island are rounded up by saltwater cowboys. They then swim the herd across the channel to Chincoteague Island for a parade and then the auction. Now, after the auction, ponies are returned to their home on Assateague Island. Last year in 2023, 71 ponies sold for an average price of $6,800. Now, on the island, these ponies really get any taller than 12 or 13 hands, which is 48 to 52 inches tall. Ponies adopted as foals or babies can get taller up to 14 hands. And once adopted, Chincoteague ponies are very easy keepers. What does that mean exactly? Well, Dawn out there simply has to look at grass and she'll gain weight.
Me too, Dawn. Me too.
Now, Pinto is the iconic color pattern. Remember Misty, the original Misty of Chincoteague, she was Pinto. Pinto means white and any other color of the equine rainbow. Of course, however, they come in a wide range of other solid colors of the equine rainbow as well. I never picked up this hint early on. Her name is Misty's red Dawn. So Dawn out there is the great-great-great-granddaughter of the Misty of Chincoteague. That's right, she was born in 2011. Her color is chestnut. And she's here thanks to her owner, Kelly Allen of Bloxham, Virginia. Have a hand for a pair. That's Kinsey and Dawn. Now here's a breed from our own backyard that's filled the role of companion, farm worker, and even babysitter for folks living in eastern Kentucky. Here's the old Kentucky Saddler, also sometimes called the mountain pleasure horse. Her name is Rockin' R's Wren. Early Kentuckians needed sure-footed, smooth-gaited horses to work the fields and provide transportation. The mountain folk also knew that the best horses were sweet-natured, eager to please, and a pleasure to ride. And these horses, after all, carried the traveling doctor, the mailman, the frontier nurse, and the preacher. They even brought kids to the one-room schoolhouse and the midwife to the dark of night to a baby's birth. Now, the secret to their very comfortable ride is their single-foot gait. So they want to go faster than a walk, they don't trot. A trot is very bouncy, very up and down. These horses don't do that, they just kind of move their legs a little bit faster in the same cadence as the walk. And by the way, it's an all-natural gait. That means it's inherited from one generation to the next. The breed that once provided a lifeline to the people of eastern Kentucky has seen its population dwindle, though, in modern times. However, its best qualities have helped to produce a number of other very popular breeds. Through DNA analysis, the old Kentucky Saddler has been proven to be the parent stock of all other North American gaited breeds. So we're talking about the Tennessee Walking Horse, the Missouri Foxtrot, and even the Rocky Mountain Horse. This breed's smooth, comfortable ride makes it an exceptional performer on the trails. It's also seen in fun things like gaited dressage, drill team, cow penning, endurance competitions, and more. So Rockin' R's Wren out there is just one link in a special partnership that reaches back almost 200 traceable years. And Wren is actually brand new to us, and she's still pretty young. She was born in 2021. She's here on loan from Rockin' R Farms of Jeffersonville, Kentucky, where these rare heritage horses have been bred for generations. Let's hear it from Maggie and Wren. So one question we get quite a bit is, where do all these horses come from? Well, nobody who works here at the horse park owns any horse here. And the breed farm depends mostly on just individual owners who live across the country who are willing to lend us their horse or pony for a season or more. So they come in and they get a vet check. If they pass that, the next important test is, do they enjoy living and working in this environment? If the answer is yes, they stay for the season. Many of them actually return for several seasons in a row. Only a very small number, less than a handful, are actually donated to the breed farm. Coming up next, we have two breeds from very different parts of the world. Up first, from the American West, it's the American Mustang. And from Norway, it's the Norwegian Fjord. More widely identified with America than perhaps any other breed, this is a living symbol of the Wild West, and her riders wear an authentic reproduction of the uniform worn by Annie Oakley, famed female sharpshooter. This is the American Mustang Penny. The story of the American Mustang is tied to the history of exploration and westward expansion. A free-roaming horse of the American West, Mustangs first descended from horses brought to the Americas by the Spanish explorers. Over centuries, the original Spanish Mustangs mixed in with many other breeds and types of horses that created a real melting pot of equine genetics. And this explains why Mustangs are not considered to be a wild horse breed. The correct term is in fact feral. That's because all Mustangs are descendants of once domesticated horses. Now, Phoebe Ann Moses, who called herself Annie Oakley, first picked up her gun and taught herself to shoot at the age of 15. She took to the woods of Greenville, Ohio and hunted quail to help support her family. She could shoot with her left hand and her right hand upside down and sideways. And as a star attraction of Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, she thrilled audiences around the world with her daring feats of sharpshooting. Now, most Mustangs of today are a mix of ranch stock and more recent breed releases, while herds that are more isolated, well, they still have individuals that resemble their long-lost Spanish ancestors. And since 1973, the Bureau of Land Management has run an adoption program. Every adopted Mustang is identified with a freeze brand on their neck. It contains information about where the horse was rounded up, its year of birth, and even its registration number. And Mustangs come in a wide array of coat colors. Many are bay or chestnut, but other colors like black, gray, pinto, roan, and palomino can also happen. The conformation of Mustangs can vary enormously, and conformation in the horse world, that's with an O, not an I, just kind of means the way all the parts fit together. But good examples have a head that evokes their Spanish ancestry, a strong body, and very durable feet. Versatile, hardy, and intelligent, this American breed has a rich history and can make a phenomenal riding partner. Penny out there was foaled, which means born in 2018, and she's all known from her owner, Kelly True of Lancaster, Kentucky. Have a big hand for Lydia and Penny. Now here's a modern throwback to the ancient breeds that roamed through Norway and joined the Vikings on their travels. This is a Norwegian fjord. Her name is Solveig. This small and sturdy breed looks much like horses painted on cave walls almost 30,000 years ago. They still stand out today because of their size, body shape, primitive markings, and stylish haircuts. Now, Vikings explored and invaded foreign lands, and they brought their horses with them. They were the first culture, in fact, to use horses instead of oxen in agriculture, and they spread that practice wherever they roamed. The fjord horse and its ancestors have been used for hundreds of years as farm animals in western Norway. Its strength, durability, and thick coat fare well in rough winters all over the world. Now, most fjords measure around 14.2 hands tall. That's technically the cutoff point between horse and pony size. However, it's not as black and white in the horse world. There's something about the fjords, I don't know, their size, their demeanor, their power as well, that makes them seem like a much more substantial equine. For this reason and some others, the fjord is officially classified always as a horse. And as a multi-purpose horse, they're extremely versatile. They can be used for things like farming and draft work, as a pack horse, in harness as a driving horse, on the trails in dressage, and in equine-assisted therapy. And all fjords are dun in color. Dun is D-U-N. They all have primitive markings. Those primitive markings include a dark dorsal stripe. That means it's a thick line of naturally black hair that runs across their back. It actually starts at their forelock, which is their fangs, runs down the center of the mane, across the back to the tip of their tail. Now 90%, like Solveig, are brown dun in color, while the other 10% are red, gray, white, or the extremely rare yellow dun. The Norwegian fjord horse is known for its gentleness of temperament, willingness to work, stamina, and vigor. And the fjord gained even more popularity when they appeared in animated form in Disney's movie Frozen. And Solveig is one of two fjords we have with us this season, one of the most popular breeds for the little ones, I think for obvious reasons. I think Disney has some say in that as well. And she's the younger of the two as well. She was born in 2016, and she's all known from the Coopers of Nashville, Tennessee. Let's hear it for Viking Trolley and Solveig. Now, another question we get asked a lot is, do our horses ever get to go outside? Well, the truth is they spend more hours each day out than they do in. When we come in the morning, we bring the horses that we're using in from the fields. They do whatever their job is for the day. Then we bring them back out to the fields again around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So they spend all night hanging out with their buddies, eating grass and hay, and whatever else they can get their hands on. And now we're pretty sure the lighter colored ones actually run a contest to see who can get the dirtiest.
So true.
And coming up, we have a pony breed and a small stature horse breed. Out first, a rare breed from England. It's the Fell Pony. And originally from Austria, the Haflinger horse. One of the native breeds of England, this hill pony is known for its long hair, hardiness, smarts, adaptability, and sometimes mischievous nature. This is the Fell Pony. His name is Windsor.
I want
Fell
one.
Pony originated in the uplands of northern England, where they're
could stay in my
believed to have roamed
backyard.
since prehistoric times. And the Fell Pony definitely lives up to its name because Fell, F-E-L-L, is just another way to say hill. And these ponies were the best source of horsepower in the hilly regions of England. Up until the 1800s, they carried loads of lead ore down from the mines to the coast. Then they returned carrying coal, traveling up to 20 miles per day over rocky, rugged terrain. Now, Fell ponies worked along the western slope of the mountain range known as the Pennines, while their close cousin the Dales pony worked along the eastern slope. Their weight carrying ability is pretty impressive too. A single pony can carry up to 240 pounds. They can do this over challenging terrain up, down, and around the mountains. Designed for the harsh environment of England's North Country, they also have built-in features to keep them comfortable in all sorts of harsh weather. A long and thick mane and a feather on their lower legs keeps them warm. So those long silky hairs that go from the knee to the foot on horses, that's called feather. And also their hair coat has features that act like rain gutters to direct water off their body. And the Fell as a pony breed is also known as a very easy keeper. They can thrive on a very sparse diet. So in the modern world, this hardy pony breed continues to show its great adaptability, versatility, and intelligence. They're ideal for things like trail riding, trekking, and driving. Trekking is just sort of a fancy way to say go on a hike with your horse or pony. Most Fell ponies, like Windsor, are black in color, and they measure between 13 and 14 hands tall. A full mane and tail and a wild look, those are hallmarks of the breed. That look is encouraged even when showing. That's right, Windsor out there is energetic and covered in lots of that luxurious hair. Here's one that's a couple of scenes with you. Born in 2016 on one from Patricia Buter of Little Rock, Arkansas. That's the Fell Pony, Windsor and Ella. It began as a small regional mountain horse, then became a versatile worldwide breed. Here is the Haflinger horse, Odie. The Haflinger, named after the Austrian village Hafling, originated in the Tyrolean mountains. That's a range that runs between Italy and modern-day Austria. Now, back in medieval times, horsepower kept commerce flowing, especially in this region. Horses carried riders or packs along narrow trails, a task that demanded short-footed mountain horses. Fast forward to 1874, when a colt, and a colt just means a young boy horse, well, his name was Foley, and he's born in the Tyrol. Foley was the offspring of a half-Arabian stallion and one of these tough little mountain mares. And to say this one horse was important to the breed is an understatement. Odie out there and all other purebred Haflingers descend from this one horse named Foley. That makes him the foundation sire of the Haflinger breed. And the Haflinger did change a bit through time. During World War II, they were bred to be more stocky for use as military pack horses. But since then, the height and refinement of the breed have returned. Now there's an emphasis on developing a small horse that is versatile for both riding or driving in harness. They arrived in the United States in 1958, and the breed's versatility, strength, and personality, well, that attracted the attention of riders and drivers. This breed is known for its chestnut coat and flaxen or white mane and tail. By the way, the halflinger's coat is always some shade of chestnut. Many also have white on their lower legs and faces. And thanks to its versatility, the halflinger performs and succeeds in many different activities. It's a popular dressage, jumping, and western show horse. It's strong and sturdy enough to serve as a vaulting or packing horse too. It also excels in pleasure driving, endurance riding, and trail riding. Its gentle temperament and people-loving personality make it ideal for things like therapeutic riding programs. And one more thing, the halflinger, though some of them are small in stature, are always classified as a horse and never as a pony. Now, Odie's full name is Nordy YRF. He's more of an Odie to us. And Odie was also born in 2016. He's on loan from Deanna Sluter of Danbridge, Tennessee. Let's hear it for Melody. She's on Odie the Halflinger. Just a reminder, folks, we have 2 creative breed shows daily here at the Breeds Barn, 11, like right now, and at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And each show does feature different horses. So if you want to come back at 2, you will see a different lineup of horses in that show. I want to thank you guys for coming out and braving the nasty weather we're having all around us this morning. And thank you for helping us to celebrate our partner for centuries, the horse. You've met up, you've learned a little bit about each of the breeds. Hopefully that's found you interesting to find out more. And now it's time for the meet and greet. And so get your hands clapping and let's welcome back the parade.
Here they come back. Are there any of them that you'd like to meet? If so, drop it in the chat. I'll make sure we walk over there. There's the Mustang.
Central Avenue, we're going to bring out other and horses out as well. Again, here comes the lovely Callie. That's the thoroughbred, followed by Misty's Red Dawn, the great-great-great-granddaughter of the Misty. Red, the old Kentucky Saddler. Thank you guys so much for your enthusiasm. One more time, let's hear it for our performers. And now it's time to grab those cameras and other devices and bring your questions. They're headed down to the rail. That's the white fence. And they want you to come on down and meet them. And just to note, the way this works is the horses stay in one spot and you guys can rotate around and meet them. And just a reminder that white fence is not as sturdy as it may seem. So kids, please don't lean up against the white fence. Thanks.
Here's the Ford. I want to go see this mountain pleasure horse. Excuse me.
I got one.
Hi, baby. He's so sweet. I want to see this mountain horse over here, because that's the breed I had.
I guess we got to go back.
Yeah. He said to be like that. Yeah, the smaller the horse, the meaner.
Oh, is that right?
That's what they
That's
say.
why they protect them.
The smaller, the meaner?
Yeah.
That's truth. So is this horse double registered Rocky?
No, she's just an old Kentucky Saddler.
Okay. Mountain pleasure. Is it okay to pet her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
She's very sweet.
I had mountain horses.
They're great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very comfy.
Yeah. That's why I was like, is she also Rocky?
Y'all can go on.
Hi, Ren. Over there's the thoroughbred.
We have the Rocky in our afternoon show.
Okay. I love gated horses.
They're very fun.
Yes, gated horses.
Very comfy.
Yes, she's a good
She's
horsey.
a baby. She's
Yes,
only
you
3,
are.
so she's like, what's
She
this?
to already see, that's what's so great about the breed.
Yeah, she has a great...
To be a 3-year-old and be able to be, you
with
know.
all these people.
Yes.
And, like, all these kids and voices. And
Exactly. All right. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, we're going to head out. The next presentation is at the Big Barn. You're very good at your job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to head out. We're going to the Big Barn where the draft horses are, because that is the next presentation at 11:45. And I think I can go. Let's go this way. Did y'all like that? What a great job to have if you were a young person. Come to work every day, get to saddle up and ride a horse, interact with people. They really do got it made. All right, up here we have the Big Barn, and you'll see in a second why it's called the Big Barn. It's a big barn. These are where our draft horses are. Over there's some more competitors. You're welcome, Cindy. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate that so much. All right. Let's see, we still have a few minutes, so I'm gonna go over here because there's another memorial over here. Actually, I don't think this one so much as a memorial as just a dedication. I don't know. I don't think he's buried here. But this is, yeah, these are memorials as well. Promotion. It was a Hanover. Is buried here. Liberation First Star. The unparalleled show horse, sire, and friend. Oh. And so this is the memorial for Brett Hanover. He's buried right here. Harness Racing's 3-time Horse of the Year, world champion, and a Triple Crown winner. Brett Hanover, he was alive from 1962 to 1992. Wow, he's got a statue and everything. I don't think there's one more over here. Princess Rooney from 1980 to 2008. I'm having a hard time reading that. She ran in the Kentucky Oaks. She's in the U.S. Racing Hall of Fame. Wow, good for her. Okay. All right, let's go meet some draft horses. Again, I wish we could have taken the trolley tour this morning, but the weather was just not good enough. Right, we're headed into the big barn. Okay. Manny is an American cream, born in 2019. Hi, Manny. 1,700 pounds. You're a big boy, Manny. This is George, also an American cream. You'll find they usually have them in pairs. Hi, pretty. How are you? Is Manny your best friend? Huh? Is Manny your best friend? You can't nip. This is Laura. She's a Suffolk Punch, which is from England. Hi, Laura. She looks like she's a chestnut, reddish color, like a deep, deep red. And this is Punch, who's farting. Punch, you have company. As Tanya would say, it's live, y'all. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. Punch is a little gassy. All right, we'll move on here. This is Quinn. I have seen Quinn pulling the trolley before. So Quinn is not a Clydesdale, but she kind of looks like one. She is an English Shire, and she's got those beautiful white feet with the feathers. Or he? Might be a he. Doesn't say. You gonna get up, Quinn? Oh, Quinn's getting up. You're big. This is Pat and Royal. These are Percherons. Hi, Royal. Are you gonna work today? You're just waiting for a snack. And this is Pat. Pat's getting his stall cleaned. Look at the head. Just the size of the head. This is Connor. Connor's a little spicy. I met Connor yesterday. He's not mean. He's just sassy. I like that. And Jace. Jace is Connor's partner. Partner in crime. They were pulling the trolley yesterday. I don't know if this is Jacques or... Is this Jacques?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi, Jacques. Are you the demonstration horse today? Yes, you are. You're beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, he's something else. Is he spicy like Connor is?
No, he tends to be a little bit more chilled out.
Is he more chill?
Yeah.
I fell in love with Connor yesterday because Connor was giving it to the tourists. He was like, come close. And I'm like, Connor, you're my dude. Yeah, he's gorgeous. So we'll see you in a minute. We'll see you in a minute. And his partner is Gus. So it makes me think of Jacques and Gus. So there's a few more horses down here. This is Mr. Muscleman. He's a standardbred. Oh, you were in the Hall of Champions for a while there. Yeah. 2005 Trotter of the Year, voted into the Harness Racing Hall of Fame. Retired as the richest active trotter in history. Well, hello, Mr. Muscleman. You need your neck scratched? Huh? You need your neck scratched? I don't like to pet you unless without permission. I don't want to get in trouble. So he's a standardbred. This is Won the West. A Breeders' Crown winning horse, standardbred as well. And Andiamu. He's like, I'm having lunch, don't bother me. And then on down here they have the capacity for more stalls. Looks like they use a lot of it for their storage, for their feed and tack. These gorgeous coaches. There we go, sorry. Look at this one. Holy cow. So like, how would you even get up in this thing? There's steps. So there's these steps. And you would climb all the way up. This would definitely take a draft team of 2 to pull. Let me check the time. We have 5 minutes. Tell you what we'll do. We'll walk out and come back in just a few minutes. Oh, Gus says my buddy is over there. Here's Gus. He's like, bring my friend back. Gus, are you upset? Do you see Jock? Jock's getting to go out and work and you're not. You don't like that? We'll be right back. We'll go over here and look at these graves. See who's over here. These are some of the older horses that are buried here. Take this path. Here we go. This is Rodney from 1944 to 1963, a racing champion and a champion sire. Aww. And then these are a lot of the dams. Duchess Hanover. They're all buried here. One thing that's interesting to know, and they talk about this on the website for Kentucky Horse Park, is that there is a myth that when a horse dies, that they bury the head, heart, and hooves. And that's to signify the head of the horse being a horse's intelligence, the heart being the spirit and the desire to go and work, and the hooves being the agility. That is just a myth. Although it probably was true back before like the Industrial Revolution, when there weren't machines that could dig very large holes. Here at Kentucky Horse Park, all of the horses are buried whole. Primrose Helen. And then you have down here Hilda the Devoted. She's right there. Kind of sad, but I'm sure each of them lived a very good life. If they were here at the horse park, they for sure did. And then over here we have Sea's Beauty, a thoroughbred. All right, we'll go get a seat. I see people heading in for the demonstration. They're probably going to do harness dressing. We'll wait for them. They're taking a photo.
I got a good shot of you running over there. Y'all
Now-
kind of distant in it, but that's all right.
We'll zoom in. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're 66. I want to do that someday.
Do the whole
I have been from Springfield, Illinois to Chicago, where it started. But
Okay.
I've done all the rest of it.
Let's go find a seat. We're gonna try and sit on the side. I think there'll be plenty of room. Okay. All right. Enjoy her presentation about Percherons.
We'll get started in just a couple minutes here, so we'll make sure people have time to come in.
You know, I probably do. I'm not sure, Cindy, if I can make you one from here. Nope. I have to do it on YouTube.
Luckily, she's got a stick. She can go to the road.
Yeah, you're fine. You're not in my way. You can sit wherever you need.
Nice coat.
Cindy, as soon as I can figure out how to do it,
Looking shiny, yeah.
I don't have another phone with me today, but I will definitely make you a mod. That would be awesome. My sister is actually my mod, but she's probably working and not paying attention. I'll call her out. I didn't bring my other phone because there's no Wi-Fi here at the park, and I don't have that other phone activated yet.
Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, welcome to the Kentucky Horse Park, and more specifically, welcome to our big barn here. My name's Camille. I'm going to be providing a demonstration today, and I have Jacques who's going to help me out. So the plan is to talk a little bit about his breed, some of the other horses that we have in here, just kind of their origins, a little bit about them. And then I'm also going to show you guys how we harness our horses to get them ready for their job here at the horse park. So first, just a little bit of preliminary information. This is our big barn here. So it's named that for a couple of different reasons. Most obviously, it's a very large barn, as you might see while you're walking through. I like to say one of the top 5 largest wooden structures, wooden barns, I guess, in America. It has since been reinforced with steel, but we'll hold on to that title. So it also houses all of our largest horses here at the horse park, so it houses all of our draft horses. And a draft horse is any horse whose main job it is to do heavy pulling. So typically we think of like these larger guys who are closer to about 17 hands average. They have all of this extra muscle, and again they do like pulling plows, logs. Here at the horse park, their main job is to pull our trolleys. We typically have 2 trolley times every day. Today we're kind of playing it by ear just with the weather. We don't really want to take the horses out when there's thunder and lightning. Our trolleys are basically a giant metal box, so we really try to be a little bit safer than that. So we'll see today if we do take a trolley out. If not, again, we have this demo. It's a lot of the same information. So a little bit about Jacques here. So Jacques is one of our 4 Percherons. We have Jacques, Gus, we might hear calling to him. They're best buds over there. Gus, and then we have Royal and Pat. So again, those are our 4 percherons or percherons, depending on how you want to pronounce it. The percheron comes from France, from the Perche region. So if you know French geography, it's over there. Percherons can be any shade between black and white. Some of them will stay black their whole lifetime, so all of our 4 are all solid black and will likely stay that way their whole life. Some of them start to gray out, so around age 5 you'll start to notice some gray spots. By age 10 they're almost completely like a dapple gray color. By 15 they'll be mostly white. No horse is truly white, but for what you see, white enough. Percherons are known to be very gentle, very calm. All draft horses in general are very laid back, very easygoing. So they are large, right? So he's about 2,000 pounds here, but compared to like some of your smaller horses, he's a lot easier to work with. Obviously, if you have a horse that's 2,000 pounds, you want their demeanor to be pretty laid back. So that's been bred into them for centuries now at this point. So the job here is very easy to work with. So like I mentioned, he's around 2,000 pounds. That's pretty much our average for all of our horses up here. Jock here is a little bit over 18 hands. The breed average for percheron is probably closer to 17. But all of our horses here tend to be a little bit taller than average, which works well for them since, again, their main job is to pull our trolley. Giving them that little bit of extra leg height means that they can kind of stride out a little bit more and cover some more ground, so they're well suited for their job. So like I said, he's over 18 hands. One hand is 4 inches, so if you see on any of the signs, it says HH, that's for hands high. And that is measured, so way back before they had like metric units of measurement. You would take your hand like this from the ground all the way up to this point right here. That's called the withers. The withers is the highest static point of the horse. So we're not counting their head and their neck when it moves up and down. So again, on this side, one hand is 4 inches from the ground to this point right here. So that's the highest non-moving point. So again, he's a little bit taller than average, but well suited for his job. Some of our other horses here I'll quickly mention. So we've got Quinn. He's our English Shire. The Shire, again, as the name kind of implies, comes from England. That is the horse that has all of that extra hair on his legs up there, so all that white hair. That is known as feather on horses. It was originally a protective thing, so it would help the horse when they're walking through like brush and brambles to kind of protect their legs. More so, it's now bred in for different looks and flashiness. So you might be familiar with the Budweiser Clydesdales. Right, they have a lot of that white feather down there, and it gives them a very eye-catching, good for marketing type of look. And Shires and Clydesdales are very closely related. They look almost identical. So Quinn is our best example up here, since we don't have a Clydesdale at the park currently. We also have Punch and Laura. Those are our 2 Suffolk Punches here. The Suffolk Punch comes from England again. They tend to be a little bit shorter on average, closer to like 16 hands. So a shorter horse is typically better suited to do like that heavier pulling work. So think about them being kind of more compact, closer to the ground to be able to push through that soil. Suffolk Punches are almost all that chestnut color. So I think ours have 2 little white spots on their head, but you'll notice mane, tail, body, all the same color. And that's true for all Suffolk Punches. Shires, on the other hand, I forgot to mention, they can be almost any color. So ours is a good like dark brown, black color. But they can be gray, they can be lighter brown, all kinds of stuff. We also have George and Manny up front. Those are our American Creams. The American Cream is special for a couple different reasons. One, it's a pretty rare breed, estimated less than 2,000 worldwide. So we're pretty excited to be able to have 3 of them here at the horse park. So there's 2 in our barn, and then if you walk through Mounted Police, they have Junior up there. He's another American Cream draft. The American Cream is also the only American-originated draft horse. So all these other ones that I'm mentioning date back to England, Europe, somewhere over there, versus the American Cream started in Iowa around the year 1900. So relatively new breed, relatively rare, and it's kind of a cyclical thing where because there's not a lot of them, they're hard to find, they're more expensive, so people don't buy them as much, so then they're just not bred as much, so it's kind of a circle there. George and Manny are still learning how to pull our trolley, so you won't see them out pulling the trolley this season, but we're hoping by next season they'll be trained up and ready to go. We also have Jace and Connor up there. Jace is our tallest horse at the park. Those are our 2 Belgians here. Belgians, again, come from Belgium, like the name implies. And they do tend to be a little bit taller than most of the other breeds. Again, they average close to 17 hands, maybe closer to 18 Both of ours are over 19 hands, so think this horse is big, add another 4 inches and another 400 pounds. So they're pretty big up there. So if you want to swing by their stalls. Belgians and Percherons tend to be the 2 most popular choices. Again, they're just the most populous in terms of number, easy to find, easy to train, all of those sorts of things. So if you're trying to get into horses, typically that's what you'll be able to find is a Percheron or a Belgian. So if you ever do pass by any farms, if you see any horses working out there that are any shade of black to white, most likely a Percheron, any shade of brown, most likely a Belgian. All right, so that's a little bit about all of our breeds here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started harnessing, and then I will mention at the end we'll have time for questions and a little meet and greet and all that kind of stuff. So the harness that I'm going to put on today is a pretty typical Western style harness. There are multiple different styles, but the Western tends to be the most popular here in America, especially in the Midwest here. Again, I'll kind of use Budweiser as a reference. So the Budweiser harness is a little bit different. It's more leather, a lot of brass, obviously, and it comes apart in different pieces. You'll notice when I throw this harness, it's all in one piece. And again, that's to make it simple. So ideally, if you're working a horse, you don't really want to spend a whole lot of time shining brass and putting harness on, those sorts of things. So you have a pretty basic harness style here. So the first thing I'm going to put on is called the collar. So this is this big thing here. So like the name implies, it's going to go around his neck like those collars do. Main anchor point for the harness. So you don't want your harness to be too tight on the horse and be restricting their movements. You obviously don't want anything tight around their neck that's going to be kind of restricting their breathing in any way. So this collar gives a good anchor point that we're going to tighten the harness down onto. You notice it has a lot of padding in there as well to make sure that he is comfortable. And I'll kind of explain how the harness functions. And so he's really pushing into that collar, so that's the point that absorbs most of that pull when they're pulling equipment. Collar first. And then the harness. So the harness here, I get a lot of questions about how much it weighs. This one's probably 40 or 50 pounds, really not too much. That collar is maybe 20, but even then, these are pretty light comparatively. Again, with Budweiser, those big fancy collars that they wear are probably about 60 pounds a piece. And their harness that comes apart into different pieces probably total is about 100 pounds. So it's a little bit different than this one here. But again, since these are pretty basic work harnesses, they're fairly light for what they are. So it's all in one piece. So first thing we do, throw it all over the back. And then we're going to take these bars up front and tighten them down on the collar. So these metal bars here are called the Hanes, H-A-N-E-S. There's a couple different styles. You can see them in wooden styles. Most typically it's kind of a steel, and that's just because it's a little bit stronger. And then this is the only part of the harness that's really going to be tight. So that's the only buckle where you want to pull all of your weight into it. Because again, that's going to be that anchor point to make sure that that doesn't slide around there. And then I will mention those little silver balls on the top, those are just for decoration. So you can put anything up there. These little silver balls are kind of the most typical thing that you'll see, but they don't really serve the purpose, just for looks. So once you have the front all tightened down, then you come around back, pull everything backwards. Then we have this back anchor point. This is called the crouper. It's going to go around his tailbone. And I will mention, I get a lot of questions about if it's uncomfortable for the horse. You'll notice it's not too tight on him, so there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room under here, so it's not really tight on him. He's not getting sores or anything. He still has full function of his tail to swing it side to side. So again, it's kind of to make sure that this harness isn't going to be sliding around, falling off, those sorts of things. Then we come back up front. This part up here is called our chest strap. This is going to hook into the vehicle, this big clip up front, and that is going to be one of the points that helps the harness and the horse brake and stop that vehicle, so I'll kind of show how that all connects. And then this chest strap here hooks back to these straps. These are called our quarter straps. So there's 2 quarter straps per harness. Typically a horse works in a team, so 4 quarters per team. And then we have this belly band underneath. So if you aren't familiar with horse riding, this is exactly where that girth goes. But unlike a girth, you don't want to tighten it down because again, that girth is the anchor point for a saddle. Not the case here. So the belly band again is just kind of to make sure that things don't shift around too much. That's that belly band. That's the quarter strap. And with that, he's done. So it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. A lot of these other buckles are used to make sure that the harness fits in properly. And then once those are set, typically you don't have to adjust them too much. Obviously your horse can grow and change, and if you use this harness on a different horse, then you would have to adjust more buckles. But all of our horses here have their own harness, so they're pretty easy to throw on. Once you get good at it, you can harness a horse in maybe 5 minutes, so it really doesn't take too long. So once he's all harnessed up, the next thing we do is put on the bridle. So I'm not going to bridle him today just because I'm just going to take it back off here in about a couple minutes, so I'm just going to kind of show you all the bridle. This is again pretty typical Western style bridle. We have a couple of different things going on, so you notice we have 2 different bits. So this big one is used to steer them, so this is where those lines are going to connect to, so that's going to be able to help give them a little bit of direction. With draft horses, since you typically are not really touching them whenever you're driving them, you're way back here, it is really helpful to have a bit in the horse's mouth. Some bridles and some horses work really well without one, but it's pretty typical to use one. And then we have a smaller bit here. This is called our check bit. This is used to help keep the horse's head up. Typically, if you're working a horse, if they have their head able to be all the way down, they are going to be looking for food on the ground, they're going to be eating grass, not paying attention. So the check bit just kind of helps hold their head up to try and keep them kind of in work mode. And then these big black leather pieces here, these are called the blinders. They go over their eyes, and the goal is not to blind the horse, but again, it's kind of a reminder that they should be working. So horses have a near 360 field of view. So maybe if I'm standing like right here, he might not be able to see me, but you can see his ears. He's listening to me back here, so he still knows where I'm at. But the blinders here kind of remind him that he needs to be focused on what's going on in front of him, and these mimic what our peripheral vision is. So again, it's not really trying to restrict his view so much that he can't see, but just again to remind him, let's focus on work right now. So after you put the bridle on, the next thing you do is put on lines, hook them to the vehicle, and they'll be ready to go. So real quickly here, I'll kind of explain how the harness functions. So a lot of these straps, like I said, a lot of the buckles are just used for support to make sure everything kind of stays in place. So the main function of the harness is fairly simple. So first I'll explain how they pull the trolley, or any vehicle for that matter. So these thick leather straps here, these are called our tugs or our traces. Means the same thing, just different words for it. This is going to be that main anchor point for your vehicle. So imagine these would attach down to that vehicle, or if you're pulling a log or a plow or anything like that, this is where that would attach to that. You can follow it all the way up to the collar here. So you see if I'm pulling back on this, it's going to pull back on that collar. So he's pushing into that collar to get it to go forward. So it's not really a pulling motion, it's more like pushing for him. So horses, when they are trained how to pull and do things like that, you kind of teach them how to lean into that collar to kind of get that weight to move. And then in order to get the vehicle to stop or to back up, that's what all the straps underneath are for. So if you watch this back strap and the quarter strap, so like I said, this is going to hook into that front of the vehicle. So as the vehicle rolls forward, the horses stop. This is going to push forward. It's going to tighten up all of that underneath. So it's going to tighten around his butt there, and then he's going to kind of sit back to get that vehicle to stop or to back up. So again, okay, pull this forward. See the chest strap, quarter straps, it all tightens around the backside. So that's how they get them to stop the vehicle or back it up. Some horse-drawn vehicles do have brakes, but obviously horses are a little bit stronger than most brakes on a vehicle. So even though we do use our brake on our trolley just to make sure that the trolley doesn't roll around too much, if the horses did want to go, it's ultimately up to them. Ideally, you train them so that it doesn't happen. We're pretty good here. And with that, that's pretty much all about harnessing. I'll mention real quick too while I'm standing back here thinking about it. We get a lot of questions about why their tails are so short, and that's a safety measure. So again, with drafts, you're working with stuff behind them. You've got plows, you've got lines that go right behind them. If they had their full tail, that tail could get caught in that equipment. It could get caught over those lines, and then it would be a huge safety issue. So it's not a cosmetic thing. It is more about safety. So most of our horses have their tailbones docked, and that means that when they're really young and their bones are still soft, you take rubber bands in between the tailbone, and it's a very harmless process for the horse, because again, they're really young, so their bones aren't fully formed yet. So they lose about half their tailbone, so his tailbone stops right about here. Some of our horses do have their full tailbone, and then we just cut the hair right underneath of it. But even with that full tailbone and cut hair, that tail can still get caught over lines, so we're always kind of keeping an eye on that stuff. All right, does anyone have any questions?
How long is the tailbone normally?
Yeah, so typically the tailbone would go to about like here.
Okay.
And then obviously the hair would grow. So these guys, their hair can still grow super long. Again, we just kind of cut it for safety.
Okay.
And it's easier to take care of. Any other questions? Yes.
So, as far as a draft, pulling something, how much? Sure. I know there's so many variables, but roughly, how much weight do they pull for how long? What's the typical?
Yeah.
You don't want to exhaust them.
Right.
Elephants, I know they can only work for like 2 hours, and then that's it for the day.
Right. These guys are built with a lot of stamina, so it is about how much you do work out the horse and exercise them and then build up that stamina. Typically, draft horses, as a general rule of thumb, again, there are a lot of factors, generally they can pull about twice as much as they weigh. So he's about 2,000 pounds, he could theoretically pull about 4,000, and that's more so referencing like weight on wheels. So like our trolleys are on wheels, so they're easy to roll, versus like if you had a log on the ground that's dragging or like pulling a plow, it's not really quite the same. But kind of double their weight is a good rule of thumb. And then in terms of how long, horses do have enough stamina to go for 8 hours a day. Give them a couple of breaks here and there. Our horses here have it pretty easy. They pull our trolley for about 30 minutes every day, so it's pretty easy for these guys. So if they were to go out in the field for 8 hours, they probably would be a little overwhelmed there. But again, if you kind of work up your horse to kind of get used to plowing and doing those sorts of things, they can go quite a while.
What do they eat in a day?
So they eat, technically a horse needs 1.5 to 3% of its body weight in forage. So these guys being around 2,000 pounds, 30 to 60 pounds per day in forage. And that can be hay, that can be grass. They get a little bit of grain, but you really don't want to give them too much grain because then they can get like a tummy ache. And thankfully the grass here in Kentucky is very nutrient dense, so we don't have to worry too much about giving them too many extra vitamins and things like that. But if you live somewhere that doesn't have this nice bluegrass, you might be supplementing them with more oils and minerals and vitamins and things like that. And then our hay is like a basic Timothy orchard grass mix. Yeah.
So they turned out, are they free to feed out in the...
Yeah, so our guys are only inside during the day when visitors are here. Typically they spend most of their time out in pastures. They each have their own individual paddocks, and that's kind of, again, a safety thing since they all have horseshoes on. If they were to like play around or anything, we don't want them to get hurt. But then in the winter, when they don't have their shoes on, then they all go out together. So.
Does he send you signals with his body motions?
Yeah. So horses mainly communicate through body language, and that again dates back to like because they are prey animals, they had to learn how to communicate pretty quietly. So there's a lot of little things that they do to kind of tell you how they're feeling. So you can look at their ears. Typically, like right now, he's relaxed. Again, he's listening to me. If their ears are pinned back, that means that they're pretty upset. If you ever see a horse whose ears are straight back, you might want to give them a little bit of space. You can kind of tell if they're swishing their tail back and forth. That's generally a sign that they're upset. If they're like moving their head too much, again, that's kind of they're upset. Typically, if a horse is relaxed, they'll kind of cock up one of their legs. So you'll see them like standing like this or like this and shifting their weight back and forth, just like how we do. And that's not because they're in pain. Again, they're just kind of relaxing, and that kind of is a sign that they're not worried about anything running up on them. Him pawing up front here, he's kind of impatient. It is around their lunchtime, so and that's just kind of him saying like, hey, I like to have lunch sometime. So, but in general, he's pretty patient. He's really good about it. So.
And when
Yeah.
horses die, what could their tongue out? What it means when they come?
When they stick their tongue out?
Yeah.
So things. Typically, like if they're trying to lick at you, it's because your arms have like salt on them, and they like salt blocks, and so they're usually trying to find that. If they're just kind of sticking their tongue out or like doing this, they're just being playful. Horses also, if you see them like curl up their upper lip and kind of stick their head in the air, that's them trying to get like a better smell of something. So if they smell something that they don't recognize or something that's kind of funky, doing that little lip curl opens up their sensory organs inside, and so they're able to get like a deeper smell that way. Yeah, like the whole time. Yeah. So it depends. In some of these drop horses too, when they put like a bit in their mouth, some of them just find it more comfortable to like let their tongue hang outside of their mouth, and it just kind of depends on the horse's personality and what they kind of feel comfortable with. I have seen that with some race horses where the whole time their tongue's just sticking out of the side of their mouth, and it's just kind of what the horse finds comfortable.
The perfect 2 silver balls up on top of the harness. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, what is that for, like turn signals?
So these are just for decor.
Yes, if it's the turn
you
signal.
Switch them out with pretty much anything else. The silver balls are pretty typical in terms of style, but you can take those off and the harness would not lose any.
Just decoration.
Yeah.
Figure
Yeah, yep.
The purpose of the horseshoe is to...
Yeah, so horseshoes in general are used to protect their feet. So horses, if they're like out running in the field and never on pavement, they typically won't need shoes. Again, horses that are out in the wild, feral horses, right? They don't have shoes, they have pretty good feet. But our guys are pulling heavy stuff on pavement, so their horseshoes are meant to protect their feet from that. Typically, draft shoes have this little toe clip, so in the front of their shoe, they have a little extra piece of metal that comes up. Again, that's just to help that shoe from not sliding around. These guys also have studs on the bottom of their shoes, and again, it's about giving them better grip for pulling stuff.
How do you keep his coat so shiny?
Yeah, so again, these guys here don't get really any sort of special feed or anything. They get a really basic Purina feed. I think here it's because the grass, again, is so nutrient dense, keeps them pretty healthy. These guys also get groomed every single day, so that helps because they're almost always in the bath stall. So they don't really get a whole lot of dirt that kind of gets under that hair. But if you do want to shine up your horse's coat, typically you give them a little bit more oil, like even just a basic corn oil can really help with all that. So, yeah.
You said they don't wear shoes in the winter. Why is that?
Because they don't do any sort of pulling in the winter. Between like November and March, we don't do any trolley rides. So they do come in and like visit with people because we do have our park open. But since they aren't like pulling anything heavy, we don't have to worry about putting shoes on them. Okay, cool. Well, if you guys want to come up and say hi to Jock, you're more than welcome to. I just ask that you stay up front. Typically, when you're petting a horse, you don't want to put your hand in front of their mouth because they're going to think that you have treats or something like that. So what you want to do is pet more on their cheeks or on their neck, or keep just your hand above their mouth, right? So anywhere up here. And then I'll hang out if you do have any more questions. So feel free to come on down.
All right, thank you. Very good. All right, Jock. That is Jock. Thank you. His buddy Gus did not yell for him today. He yelled for him yesterday. There he is. Yeah, he's gorgeous. All right. We're going to walk out this way. This is Jason Connor. I love these guys. They pulled the trolley yesterday. Bye, Connor, sassy man. Yeah, that gal is very knowledgeable. I talked to her for a little bit yesterday, and she really knows her stuff. She also drives the trolley. A lot of the employees here have multiple jobs. It's the Gypsy Vanner.
He's got pretty blue eyes.
Yeah, hi baby. Hello. He's working.
Yeah,
Horses have feathers.
he didn't have much of a bath today, so they're a little dirty.
Same, Cindy. I'm the same way. I'll be like, what did they say about that? Or I'll get my facts mixed up. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. Okay, so I'm going to head back over here where we were and see if the quarter horses are still out working. I hear them. Cindy, I do that not just about horses and stuff, but just everything in life. Somebody can tell me something, and 15 minutes later, I'm like, now what did we say that we were... Oh, I blame it on age. All right, let's see. The sun has finally come out. Yay. It's going to be a nice rest of the day here at the Kentucky Horse Park. The park is open till 5. Most of the events are done by like 3. Also, there's a really nice campground here. It has a swimming pool, hundreds of spots, hookups with electric. There's a volleyball court. It's a really nice place to park your RV and enjoy a stay in Kentucky. Okay, yeah, we'll go down here and see these quarter horses. So this is an early watering system. From circa 1904. All right, let's go see these horses. I need to keep an eye on the time too. I have to pick my dogs up at the groomer. They're getting all beautified today, which they needed because they went in smelling pretty rough. Swamp rats is what they were. I'm sure I'll hear about that. The groomer is a friend of mine. All right, let's watch these guys for a minute. Everybody's warming up and exercising. So these are all quarter horses. That pretty one up there driving.
That is the box under the TV that lights up every single time you turn it on. So I don't, then I have no idea what's going on because those
There are several warm-up rings. For the people that are showing in the covered barn here, there's this ring, the one behind it over there where you see the other horses, and then down the hill here, there's one more. If we go on out that road that you can kind of see back behind the rings there, that takes you out to like the dressage areas. And then there's like agility and stuff up there on the hill for the English thoroughbreds. He's pretty. Okay.
I don't know. You gotta. I don't know because I'm not there. So you have to figure if you have it on like a channel 3.
All right. Okay. We're gonna head back this way. Wish a lot of luck to all the competitors for this show. This place stays booked like all during the warm season, and there will be shows here until probably, I know there are shows into like October. They get started about March to October, so we have a pretty decent amount of time for the various breeds to have their shows here. Look at the dogs. Yes, people bring their dogs here. You can't have horses without dogs. All right, we're gonna walk down here past the mounted police barn, back towards the visitor center. We're gonna go see Man of War. Such a peaceful day. I could stay here all day. Find a park bench, relax, watch some horses, take in some sun. It's not hot, nor is it too humid. I think the rain took some of that away. It's about 70 degrees, so it's like perfect. Hi, puppy. Puppy wanted to say hi to me. They do have a cafe here. So if you are here for the day, it's called the Bit and Bridle Restaurant. Also, if you are here for one of the shows and you're in the covered arena or the All-Tech Center, there will be food kiosks there as well. You can get like burgers and hot dogs and chips and your standard. Cindy, what's your temperature and what kind of humidity do you guys have? It's going to get hot here. It's been hot. It's been like 85 here. Today is the first day it really kind of cooled down for us. But I'm so glad I came out. I really wasn't sure what to do this morning because it did not look like this. It was rainy. There are school groups here today. There's school groups here every day. It's a great place for the surrounding area. Schools to bring the kids for field trips. Today it's 86 humidity, but not too bad. But Sunday, 90 felt like 96. Cindy, I'm going back to Disney on Monday and it's supposed to be 98. Pray for me. Gonna definitely, yeah, just like Disney. Yes, it's hot where you are. Let's see. I think Man o' War is down here on the right. Yeah, I'm gonna need all my sweat gear, extra sunscreen. Okay. This is the Ironworks Cafe, another place you can eat here. Oh, I need to go in the, okay, I need to go. Man o' War is down here. All right, here come the school kids. Turn away this way. Let you guys look at the field. All right, they are having a good time. You can actually ride horses here. Go horseback riding. There is an extra charge for that. They have pony rides, and there's a playground down here. Down here's where the horseback riding is. That's what the kids are doing. Burning off some energy. So the horseback riding is over here. I don't have a ticket for it, so I'm just gonna stay on the outside. See if we can see them. very smartly, these horses are mostly under the shade. And they do have signs up asking us not to get too close. So I'm going to respect that. But there are the babies for horseback riding. And as you can see, they get to roam free until it's time for them to work. So they get to just hang out until it's their turn to go out on the trail. Hi babies, are you guys working today? Pretty. Oh, laying the ears back, showing their dominance. Like, look, this is my space. I like the pretty white one with the blue eyes over there. Actually, I guess he's not white, he's cream. All right. Okay, so that's the horseback riding. I'm not exactly sure how much it costs to do the horseback riding. I want to say like $30. I could be off on that. But you buy your tickets for the horseback riding up at the visitor center, which is where we're headed.
Leave it alone.
Sweet. Okay. All right, we're on our way to see Man of War. They're a pretty planter. Who this is. This was Happy Go Lucky. Oh, miniature donkey. I don't think there's an animal buried there. I think it's just a statue that was donated. As far as admission to the Kentucky Horse Park goes, you can find that information on the website. Currently, for adults, it's $22 for the day. They do offer a discount where if you pay for one day and bring your receipt back the next day, you can get in for free. So you can actually come for 2 days for $22. They do have different discounts for seniors and military, as well as a child's rate as well. The park is open Wednesdays to Sundays, 9 to 5. So do not plan your vacation to the Kentucky Horse Park on a Monday or a Tuesday.
Sure. That's why I just saw Pam go this way.
Ah, air conditioning. Yes, it did turn out to be a nice day. We'll pop into the gift shop and just do a quick walkthrough. Breyer is a huge sponsor here at Kentucky Horse Park. In fact, every year they host Breyer Fest, where little girls can come, little children I should say, and purchase collectibles, and it's just a whole festival. There's some beautiful things here.
I've been buying a lot more drinking glasses, but I'm rationing myself. Reaching my max.
Just live it up.
What is that thing?
Oh, I am live streaming on YouTube. So there have been people following with me today and watching all the different shows and stuff. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Toys.
Oh, you're talking about the
Plush. Here's all the Breyer horses. I'm gonna have to take a shower, definitely. It's starting to get hot before I go into work today. This one's cool. Meet Legend at the Mounted Police Barn. Legend has his very own Breyer horse. How cool. I didn't see him there today. Looks like they have just about any Breyer horse that a collector might want. Lots of different shapes and sizes. You were here? You were there? It's nice and air conditioned in here. So I'm not sad about being in the gift shop. The jewelry. Pretty bracelets. What if those are like, I'm sure they are platinum or sterling silver. I think these are silver. Some turquoise. Oh, gorgeous horseshoe necklace. Little miniatures. They have spirit jerseys here. Collector's plates. Here's Funny Side's harness or a halter. Bless his heart. Rest in peace, Funny Side. Go for gins. All right. You can also get some drinks and snacks. You can get some Kentucky specific candies. Should we look for caramels? Oh my gosh, chewy bourbon caramels. Tanya, this is for you. Caramel pecan turtles. Bourbon candy, creamed pool candy. That stuff is so good. And it's almost like a lost art as far as how to make it. Some barbecue sauce. All right. These ladies came in at the same time I did this morning. All right. Go out the front here. We're gonna go down this way. Uh-oh, there's geese down here. Beware. Beware. So this path here takes you to the Memorial for Man of War, which is like the crown point of the park. There's no horse in this park as mean as those things right there. Right over there. Exactly. I would not mess with these geese. If my Opal Josephine was here right now, she would be all about it. She's 7 pounds of pure Chihuahua and loves birds. There's a crane over there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a crane standing over there on the edge of the water. Man of War. The Great Man of War. So as well as Man of War being here, it's also the gravesite of several of his sons and daughters. So we have War Admiral, and War Relic, also buried here with their father. War Admiral was a very well-known Triple Crown winner in the 1930s. We have Brush Up, which is his mother. I believe it's his mother. Or War Admiral's mother, I should say. War Hazard, War Kilt, winner of the de Mostel Stakes, there are benches here just to sit and rest. And just be quiet and enjoy the view. And then also, there is one person who is buried here at the Kentucky Horse Park. And that is Isaac Burns Murphy. Born a slave, Isaac Murphy became the most celebrated sports figure in America and arguably the greatest jockey to ever grace the nation's tracks. His skills in the saddle were surmounted only by his honesty and integrity. And this is his resting place. There he is. He lived from 1861 to 1896. Died quite young. He's the first jockey inducted into the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame. 44% win record, which remains best of all time. He was the first jockey to win 3 Kentucky Derbies. He won 4 American Derbies and 5 Latonia Derbies. Rest in peace, Mr. Murphy. Okay. So no better place to end than right here. I'm having a hard time seeing. Give me just a second. All right, I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today on this live stream. I appreciate everybody who popped in and enjoyed the park with me. I had a great day, and I would invite you to come back. I am going to be streaming next at Walt Disney World on Monday, May 27th. So if you like today's stream, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to, go ahead and hit that notification bell, set it to all, so that you'll know when I'm coming back next as far as streaming. So thank you so much. Thank you, Cindy. It was so good to see you. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Lone Wolf. And I hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon. I've got to go get my dogs, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye. Can't see the screen. There we go.